Hey Mike, what are you doing today?
Hello, hey, Summer.
Wow, how are you?
Uh, I'm having trouble with my. Yeah, hey,
Hey,
yeah, so I was having trouble with my headphones.
okay,
Yeah, yeah, thanks for joining.
no worries. What are you
Mm,
working on?
yeah, I'm just starting out to read this book. I think I shared it with you.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Really?
this. Yeah, maybe I should share the book. But yeah, I had finished up the app that I was working on initially.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just it was just doing TDD with Flask,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if I shared that link with you. So maybe I can open a new one and do. Is it here? No. Uh, yeah, maybe here. So to this tutorial where this guy was just going through, was it this one? Let me see. Not this one. Uh, yeah, it was this one. So this guy was just going through creating, just doing TDD with Flask,
Uh,
and he just created a directory and probably, yeah, a virtual environment, and just started by creating simple tasks. Yeah, and running. It's just a simple TDD with Flask. Then adding the database, testing that the database is created successfully, if the database file exists, and all the stuff because they're using SQLite, and he adds stuff to it, and then adding some color. Yeah, so I just completed doing this um, in the last mob that I had, and
uh,
then I decided to go and do this book now. It's I am opening many tabs. Yeah, that's the book.
nice.
So with the book, I just I've just finished reading the table of contents and seeing what they have, because they speak about how to create a virtual environment in Python and all that stuff. Are you Do you know about virtual environments?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, it's sort of different with the um, bundle lock files in Rails and stuff. So yeah, we have. Uh, I read through this chapter, and where you got me, I was going to create a virtual environment on this one, and then start installing Python packages with pip. Then, are you able to access the book?
No, I just asked for access.
Uh, I think you just request, ask for access, and then they'll give you. Don't know if it happens to everyone. Or even easier,
Hmm.
you can download and share.
Okay, cool.
Just download. So it's called Miguel. Oh shit, what's happening? Uh, there is somewhere. Um, um, yeah, I can't find. They just did download a new one. Share that one. Somewhere here. No. Uh, where are you? Yeah, so I can just download. Oh, the queen has another bracket.
Hmm.
Okay, so I share that one Slack. Oh, shit.
Thanks.
Mm, when did you last chat?
I think you are fixing something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, because it's weird you're not in my history.
Let me just text you
Downloads.
real quick and then I'll get up there.
Yeah, so book and yeah, so that's the book. And yeah, where we were at, where I was at, I just wanted to create because what they have in the book, it's this bit of creating the virtual environment and stuff, just the start, and then they go the, to a basic application structure, which is just a basic um, class hub, um, just the yeah, I think very basic applications. Then they introduced the generative templating engine, which is used by most Flask apps. Um, yeah. And then the web forms and the databases. I think here they just do the normal database tutorial telling guys how to get data and stuff. Then email. adding email support, and then they have a large application strategy. I was even tempted to start from here, from chapter 7, but I just decided to start from the first. Then after that, they have an example app, a blogging application. Um, yeah, with uh, they go until they do a REST API. Then they have the last mile where they're adding resources and stuff, deployment, performance testing, and yeah, it's a short book.
Yes,
It's not so
it looks
it's not so
interesting.
huge. Yeah, it looks short and interesting. So maybe we start by, yeah, who this book is for. I know it's for us. Then how this book is organized. Um, the first part is introduction to Flask. Uh, we just describe the installation and setup and uh, doing a basic application, uh, introducing web forms, databases, email support, and all that. I think we've looked through that. And then this one is an example of maybe a huge Flask application. Then just the last one that we've looked into. And then how to work with example code. Here they just explain uh, that the commit history in this repository, like the code the code examples presented in this book are available for download that at that link, and then the commit history in this repository was carefully created to match the order in which the concepts are presented in the book. The recommended way to work with the code is to check out the commits starting from the oldest, then move forward through the commit list. Assume and progress with the book. Uh, as an alternative, Twitter will let you download each commit as a zip or tar file, but yeah, I think he will be just doing whatever he's told us as he does the book, because he's saying you download the commit and then you check out to this branch, git checkout 1A, and I don't know why he's resetting this command will destroy. When you run git checkout command, it will display a warning message that informs you that your detached heads you are in a detached head state. This means that you are not in any specific code branch that can accept new commits. Um, but instead, but instead, you're looking at a particular commit in the middle of the change history of the project. There is no reason to be alarmed by this, blah blah. So you're able to continue working. Yeah. Then git fetch all, git fetch tags, reset, git diff. Yeah, I didn't go through this git lesson because yeah, I'll cross the bridge when I got there. Then using code examples, he just says how to use code examples. I skipped this part as well. Then the conventions, um, italics, they are used to indicate new terms, URL, email addresses, file names, file extensions, constant width, and yeah, these are just yeah, acknowledgements, and yeah. So I checked this chapter where they're saying Flask is a small framework by most standards, small enough to be called a micro framework, and small enough that once you have once you become familiar with it, you will likely be able to really understand all of its source code. And yeah, here they just explain how with Flask you don't have the big thing than like it's like the Sinatra. I think it's the Sinatra of Python because you have to install everything that you want. If you want to use templates, that's when you get them. If you want to use um, the web server, that's when you get them. Whatever you want, you just get them on the fly. They don't come like with everything done for you. I think so. And then it says that we should work with Python 3.5 and 3.6 and not 2.7 this point. And then yeah, where we just get started. Um, I just did this. I just ran this clone command. Yeah, I just cloned and I created a virtual environment. Uh, git checkout. So maybe I should cd do Flask. Yeah, I think I should fetch first. Try initial version and virtual environment, creating a virtual environment. So virtual environment will manage the packages for us. Git install Python VM. Uh, yeah, so I just created. So maybe if I want to start my virtual environment, I will do source. And that virtual environment.
I have a question before you go on.
Yeah,
Is it a must for you to create a VM when using Python? When using Flask, or is it recommended, or do you have like to necessarily use it?
um, I think it's necessary. So it works like the the bundle the bundle dot lock. So
Ah,
you see like every file, every project in your Rails development will have a bundle and a bundle lock, right? So
yeah.
what the virtual environment does is like it allows you to install your dependencies and
I think
then
we're talking about Gemfile.
yeah
Is it like
the
Gemfile
gem
in Rails?
yeah I'm talking about the gem file. Sorry, yeah I'm talking about the gem file.
Okay.
Like yeah the gem file. So like what the virtual environment allows you to do is to create an environment where you can install all your dependencies so that they are specific to your project. So in many cases, every project always has a virtual environment created for it. But there's another way of using a log file. So with the virtual and with the uh, virtual environment, um, there's not like a lock file and all that stuff. You just have um, like a small virtual space that you install your stuff, and you can export everything that you've installed. Like you just do maybe a pip freeze, something of the sort, and you do pip freeze, and this should show you everything that you have installed, and you can export it and install it in your production environment. But then there's a different way. It's called pipen, I think. Let me just. I have so many things open, so I am so disorganized here. Yeah, maybe we'll chat about that later on.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Understood. Thanks.
Like pipen. Yeah. So this pipen thing, it works. It works pip file.log. It has a pip file, then it has a pip file.log. So other guys in the Python community are moving towards pipn, but since it's still not supported by most apps, so you just need to pre-install it and you will use it to manage your stuff. Uh, since it doesn't come with all this stuff, now few guys are going there, and Python guys are also just used to um, they are just used to the virtual environment. So yeah. So I created a virtual, like now the virtual environment that I've created for this one, you can see there's nothing installed yet. So yeah, there was also need to upgrade with the last upgrade. Yeah. So yeah. So here I think he was just making sure that he doesn't leave guys who maybe do you want to install to get started with this so that you can share screen and maybe clone this and create the virtual environment.
No, I think I'll need to install like Python and all that stuff. So
Oh yeah.
let me
So
let me let me just listen in, and then I'll do the first one, the TDD one, before next session, and then we'll move from there. I guess.
okay.
Yeah, I'll
So
just listen in.
uh, nice. So the quick install virtual env. Yeah. So here they're saying working with the virtual environment. So when you want to start using virtual, I don't know whether we can just do I do this, then you do this, then I do this, then you do this. So that it's a little clear. So I'll read the first paragraph. So when you want to start using a virtual environment, you have to activate it. Uh, you're using a Linux or Mac OS computer. You can activate the virtual environment with this command: source VM bin activate. If you're using Microsoft Windows, you can use this. So this is the command that I had run here. Um, uh, Before you asked, so I ran the source Flask because this is my virtual environment. Then in the bin folder, you do the activate. But me, I just added that fish since I'm running it in a fish shell. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So you want to read this?
Okay.
This,
Um,
yeah.
when a virtual environment is activated, the location of its Python interpreter is added to the path environment variable in your current command session, which determines where to look for executable files. To remind you that you have activated a virtual environment, the activation command modifies the command prompt to include the name of the environment. Ah,
Yeah, so like this, you see my virtual environment is called Flasky VM. I created my
yes,
own because in this, yeah, in the upper directory I had already created a VM with just the name VM. So if I list that, you see I had this already. So I added the Flasky. Don't know whether you can see.
yeah,
Yeah, so we had this VM. So I added Flask VM. So because my to-do app was using this VM, I added Flask VM that Flask can use it. And now when you activate it using this command, your virtual it should be displayed here, like they're saying this. So after a virtual environment is activated, typing Python as the command will invoke the interpreter invoke the interpreter from the virtual environment instead of the system-wide interpreter. If you're using more than one command prompt window, you have to activate the virtual environment in each of them. So when you're done working with the virtual environment, type deactivate uh, to deactivate it. So like here, you can just come and do um, just to demo deactivate. Now the thing is gone. And if you want to activate it again, that and now we are within our environment. Yeah. So installing Python packages with pip. You go first.
mhm. Python packages are installed with the pip package manager, which is included in all the virtual environments. Like the Python command, typing pip in a command prompt section will invoke the version of the tool that belongs to the activated virtual environment. To install Flask into the virtual environment, make sure the VM virtual environment is activated, then run the following command.
Yep. So do pip install Flask. Yeah. Nothing new. Similar. Yeah. And then when you execute this command, pip will not only install Flask but also all of its dependencies. You can check what packages are installed in the virtual environment at any time by using the pip freeze command. So you come here and do this. So it has installed click. It installed Flask Ginger 2. So I think these are the very uh, yeah, I think they explained about them. It's better if you just read them yourself. Back here, so here, so they say Flask has three main dependencies: the routing, debugging, and observer gateway interface (WSGI) subsystem that come from Workbook. Template support is provided by Ginger 2, and the command line integration comes from Click. The dependencies are all authored by Amin Ronashan, who is the author of Flask. So, like here, when you install, it just comes Flask Click, which is the command line thing. Then Ginger 2, which is template, and then Zoom, This one brings in the web server interface. Yeah, this is the web server, and yeah, that's the pip freeze. So yeah, so you see, it has also the whatever is installed and the version, like Ginger 2, this is the version, and yeah, and the version that's installed. So when you want to share your stuff, you just do pip freeze and export this to a file and give someone else whatever it was here so that they can just install them on their system. Yeah, so when you do pip freeze, yeah, this is what you have, and you go.
The output of the freeze includes detailed version number for each installed package. The version numbers that are likely to be different from the ones shown here. You can also verify that Flask was correctly installed by starting the Python interpreter and trying to import it.
So we can just come here and do Python or Flask.
Here, Mr. P.
And if there's no error, if I import something that doesn't exist,
Hmm.
it will always throw an error.
Ah,
Import something that exists, it will just be silent. So that's why they're saying you can confirm by importing. Yeah, then they go to explain if no errors, you can congratulate yourself. You're ready for the next chapter when you will write your
yay!
application. Yeah, yeah, nice. So um, yeah, uh, in this chapter you will learn about the different parts of the Flask application. You'll also write and run your Flask application. And yeah, initialization. All Flask applications must create an application instance. The web server processes all requests it receives from the clients. This object for handling using a protocol called Web Server Gateway Interface (WSGI), pronounced WSGI. Oh, you pronounce it WSGI. WSGI. Always say WSGI. Application. The application instance is an object of Flask, usually created as follows: from Flask, import Flask, then you do app equals Flask danda name. Yeah, you go.
The only required argument for this Flask class constructor is the name of the main module or package of the application. For most applications, Python name variable is the correct value of this argument. Later you will learn more complex ways to initialize an application, but for simple application this is all that is needed. Actually, good question. What's up with Python and all the underscores?
The dandas. uh, like mostly it's the double. Okay, they have the single underscores, which are used with variables, and the
Mhm.
variables I think. Okay, when you name a variable with an underscore or
Mm.
a function, I think it signals that that function that method or variable is private. So like it's just a convention that the function or variable is private and someone else should not call it elsewhere. Like they are not able to be called. They're not allowed to call them or something.
Ah, okay.
And then with these double underscores, they're usually called dandas
Mm.
because it's double underscore, double under, da.
Ah,
So yeah, so this double underscore name, it will be called danda name. and these are mostly for um, inbuilt um, properties or yeah, the inbuilt variables. So yeah, so for the inbuilt stuff, they are called with they're named with the danders. But when guys write their stuff outside here, they they don't use the dander conventions. I think mostly the dander conventions is for the variables that are inbuilt only. So this guy he explains something here. The name argument that is passed the Flask application constructor is a source of confusion among you Flask developers. Flask uses this argument to determine the location of the application, which in turn allows it to locate other files that are part of the application, such as images and templates, blah blah blah. I don't know kama umeelewa that.
Yeah, immediate guessing.
Yeah. So this data name
Mm.
is used mainly for like to mean the package name. If you can read about Python packages,
Ah,
yeah, the name then the name means the current file that is the name of the current file that is being run. So if you say Flask then the name, then the name will be the name of the file that you're typing all this stuff on. So that's why it says Flask uses this argument to determine the location of the application, which in turn allows it to locate other files. So then the name is the current file. So packages are just files. That's how they explain it. Yeah. How much longer do you have?
mm, I think 10 minutes.
Yeah, so we can rush through this page real quick. Yeah, so routes and view functions. Uh, I don't know whether he wants us to. Oh yeah, so there I understand in this
Yeah.
book when he does this without the this, we'll just read about it. But when he will do this, we will actually be needed to code. When he says hello.py, a complete Flask application. Yeah, but these are just examples within reads, so we can just read through them and we'll practice ahead.
Okay.
So routes and view functions. Clients such as web browsers send requests to the web server, which in turn sends them to the Flask application instance. The Flask application instance needs to know what code it needs to run for each URL requested. So it keeps a mapping of URLs to Python functions. The association between URL and function that handles it is called a route. The most convenient way to define a route in Flask application is through the update route decorator exposed by the application instance. The following shows how a route is declared using this decorator. So yeah, I don't know whether you're in the session where we were doing decorators. I remember you are, but you arrived late.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this @ sign, when used ahead of a function, it normally means that this is a decorator. So a decorator is just something that ni kama lipstick, something that yeah. something that it decorates the functionality of the function. So like this function will exist without this decorator, but when you add update route decorator, it now adds another functionality to the function such that it can be accessed via a route, something of the sort. So he goes ahead and explains here decorators are a standard feature of Python language. A common use of decorators is to register functions as handler functions to be invoked when certain events occur. Yeah, that's not very, yeah, but that's just what it is. Yeah, it's your turn, eh?
Okay. The
Or
previous
your
example
question.
registers function index as the handler of the application's root URL. With the app root decorator is the preferred method to register view function. Flask also offers a more traditional way to set up the application routes using the app.add URL rule method, which in its basic form takes three arguments: the URL, the endpoint name, and the view function. The following example uses add URL rule to register an index function that's equivalent to the one shown previously.
Yeah, that's clear,
Yeah,
because they're just doing this differently. They're using add DRL rule and giving it a name and a function. Yeah. So functions like index that handle application URL are called view functions. If if the application is deployed on the server associated with the www.example.com domain name, then um, navigating to that in your browser will trigger index run on the server. The return value of this view function is the response the client receives. If the client is a web browser, this response is, is the document that is displayed to the user in the browser window. A response returned by a view function can be a simple string with HTML content, but it can also take more complex forms, as you will see later. Uh, so um, I, I have forgotten what this is, what this hawk was. Maybe I need to see what the hawk was because I've seen it many times now. Oh, a general note. Yeah, so embedding responsiveness to the HTML code in Python source files is the code that is difficult to maintain. The examples in this chapter do it only to introduce the concept of responses. You will learn better way to generate HTML responses in chapter 3. Yep, you go.
if you pay attention to how URLs for services that you use every day are formed, you'll notice that many have variable sections. For example, the URL for the Facebook profile page has the format uh, the Facebook and then stroke your name, which includes the username, making it different for every user. Flask supports these types of URLs using special syntax in the app.route decorator. The following example defines a route that has a dynamic component.
Yeah, so um, the but then now they have to pass a name here.
Uh,
Yeah, so if you have user, then you have name here. You have to get something as a as an argument to your function. and yeah, that's what you can use here. So this is also just a Python string thing, whatever they've done here. The dot format. This is like how you do the string interpolation. Is it called interpolation in Ruby?
Yeah.
So you have a string. Now them they will have a string, and then you see these empty brackets. These empty brackets are saying where this name will go. So you
Ah,
have hello name, yeah. So if you do dot format name, so this name will come here. If you have two things, you'll just order them and then order within the format you pass as many arguments in the same order that you want them to appear on this. Yeah. So that's how they do their string interpolation. So the portion of the route URL enclosed in angle brackets is the dynamic part. Any URL that match the static portions will be mapped to this route, and when the view function is invoked, the dynamic component will be passed as an argument. In the preceding example, the name argument is used to generate a response that includes a personalized greeting. Yeah. So the dynamic component in routes are strings by default, but can also be different. But can also be of different types. For example, the route da 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 will match only URLs that have an integer in the ID dynamic segment, such as user123. Plus supports the types of string, int, float, and path for routes. The path type is a special type that can include forward slashes, unlike the string type. Yeah, so that's just about this. Then they have a complete application. You go, you have 3 minutes.
okay. In the previous section, you learned about the different parts of a Flask web application, and now it's time to write your first. The hello.py application script, shown in example 2.1, defines an application instance and a single route, and the view function as described earlier.
Yep, so maybe here I'll just do um, is it exit? Yep, and I can do clear and then hello.py. So vim hello.py and copy this here. Okay, maybe that was a bad idea.
Right.
Uh, formatting things by myself. Uh, I don't wanna be struggling. Oh, so it has this already. Or did I just paste it here?
Right. You
Okay.
pasted it in Vim. In Vim,
But I did not save. Maybe they saved for me.
maybe.
Yeah, so from Flask import that. Oh yeah, yeah, I think they did save for me. So it's weird. In Python, they use for you're used to.
Indentation. Yeah, and I've noticed you guys don't have an end.
Yeah, we don't have an end. So it's just the indentation. So when you write your next stuff here and you do another thing, um, and we also don't have puts
Ah,
print. So yeah. So when this indentation comes back to this, they know that this function ended here.
ah,
So, yeah.
gotcha.
So maybe I need to do Python the path. Did it open anything? Because it should open something on the color stroke. Close 5,000. Is it 7,000? 5,000. No, it did not. What did it do with that? Let me see. So that. So development web server. Oh yeah. So Flask application include a development web server that can be started with the Flask run command. The command looks for the name of the Python script that contains the application instance in the Flask app environment variable. To start Hello Deploy application from the previous section, first make sure the virtual environment you created earlier is activated and has Flask installed in it. For Linux Mac OS, do this. So we are going to export this guy. So export that guy. We're going to run it like so. Then we are going to go to the browser and yay!
Yay, hello world.
have yeah, small beginning.
Yep,
So don't know why. Yeah, then this is for Windows guys, and this is the note. If you type anything else of the URL, the application will not now to handle it and will return error code for da, 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 da. Yeah, so that's saying if we get no it went yeah. So here we get application. Yeah, so that's what they're saying. So actually the app that you're going to do, the, how they do it, they write tests to from the point it, so they test everything like if the page will return the hello world, all that stuff. It's sort of the same thing, but he's just driving it. Yeah, so maybe that will come and start with dynamic logs next time. Hello.
There was a lot of noise coming from your end. I don't know what was up.
Hey, Nakul. Yeah, so yeah, I think we can start from there next time.
Yeah, that was an awesome section. Thank you.
Yeah, so bye.
Bye.